Oh man, I feel so happy right now. Ladies and gentlemen, don't touch that dial. You know you haven't seen her in a while. Recognize the show icon, the legend of hip-hop, has now been criticized. Now it's time for the independent women to really shine. It's your independent woman, Tonya E, a.k.a. Miss Right Now. Many things have changed for many reasons than one, but no one can front, nor pretend. Who's the host with the most skills, style, coming with exclusive footage and interviews combined. Now opening up the arena to another side. Don't ever get comfortable or even think you know her next move. Like she stated before, she can't be fooled. So sit back and relax and call up a friend, because your independent woman, Tonya E, a.k.a. Miss Right Now, has done it again, my friend. Big shout out to Big Herb of Big Island, Intact post-producing and tightening the show to its profession. We're definitely on the road to success, so don't act like you missed the session. Haha, peace and love, Nolo, Jojo, combination force, Tonya E, a.k.a. Miss Right Now. Let's hit the show, let's bring it back to the future, let's bring it back to the old, to the new. Tonya E, a.k.a. Miss Right Now, let's bring back the old school jams. Never forgetting where hip-hop has come. The show begins.
This is how we do. We give it to G.O.D. That's why. All right, let me get into my Miss Right Now. Are we ready? All right. 1 2 1 2 in the place to be. We go to. I ain't gonna do that. What's up, y'all? I know y'all haven't seen me in a minute, but don't touch that dial and don't change that channel. You know why? Because you are still watching your independent woman, Tonya E, a.k.a. Miss Right Now. We did a couple of changes to the name of the show, but it is now the Tonya E, a.k.a. Miss Right Now show. So y'all hold on tight, because we got the exclusive interviews, and we always give it the hottest interviews with the hottest artists. Never know who's going to be peeping on our show, going to be sitting to the right side of your independent woman. Check this out. Before I even go into the whole whatever, do y'all really know y'all history upon how hip-hop got started? Do y'all really know the 70s to the 80s to the 90s artists? Well, if you don't, sit down, relax, because we're about to give it to you all. On my right side, I don't even know how to, do the introduction on this one. This is hot. All right, we're just gonna go right into who I have on the right side. Introducing one of the hottest 90 artists. Oh my gosh. I mean, still hot. That's right. You see how he interrupted and all that good stuff, right? But you know what? Check this out. Have you ever heard of Let It All Hang Out? Have you ever heard of the Ador, Ador? What's up, Mr. Ador? How you doing, player?
I'm glad to be on your show. Yes, ma'am.
Look at here. What is that? We got interruptions on telephone already, Ador? You see, technology for you. You know, there we go. Mr. Ador, introduce yourself to our viewers, our newcomers, our old comers. Let them know how you going.
What's up? This is Ador, artist, owner, True Rain Records. Have been blazing for a long time, giving you some real good music. You might remember me from Let It All Hang Out, One for the Trouble, The Rush, different people, different things, straight from New York. You know what I mean? Just doing it, holding it down.
Mr. Ador, you originally from NYC. Where in NYC you from?
Washington Heights, Manhattan. Yep. My father was a musician, and he inspired me. He had a band in Manhattan. I used to come down and late at night, and 4 a.m, be down in Midtown in these rehearsal studios. And he was like jazz, real soulful music he used to make, and it was just dream. It would just take me away. You know, I'd love it listening and being there. And as I grew up in the streets, to be honest with you, just grew up in the streets. So I took my passion, came from the hunger of the streets. My poetry came from the hunger of the streets for me. And it inspired me, and I took my father, what he had done, musically, what he was as a musician, and the respect. That's where I got my respect for music from, was to see what these guys used to do, what they used to put into it, what it meant to them to make one record, And it just, from there, I just grew up, and I was a good writer of music, and I just had a vibe, I just had a passion as I just kept building. And I ended up moving to Mount Vernon, New York. The Vernonville, no doubt. Mount Vernon representative to the day I die, though. And I started, I grew up I moved there when I was about 7, 8 years old, and I grew up there. And when I started getting into middle school and high school, there was a whole generation of us from Mount Vernon that started influencing music through that whole time, you had Heavy D and Al B. Shore was starting to come up, and there was all this stuff. Had Eddie F. and the Untouchables, and then Pete Rock, and then Pete started doing his thing, and I was also doing. And me, as I didn't get into music because I was from Mount Vernon. I was from Manhattan. I was a musician, and I was doing it anyway. I was meeting with Leor Cohen and that Def Jam and stuff, doing my thing, and then Puffy, and then Puffy's like Puff, P Diddy. I don't know, everybody knows it's Puffy really, but P Diddy, if that's what it must be called now. And Puffy was from Mount Vernon too. We were all together, and all that stuff started happening. And Puff actually saw something in me. He started hearing about me through some of the demos and stuff like that I was making. And he was like he was my biggest supporter, in the beginning. He actually started shopping me around to the industry. Eddie F. from the Untouchables and Heavy D and the Boys was starting his production company, and he had Pete Rock and CL Smooth as in his production company, and I had my man Tim Dog, Butt Naked Tim Dog. I don't know if you remember him. Yeah, Tim Dog was actually a big supporter of me too. He brought me to Eddie F. because he went to Untouchables, and then Untouchables was doing a lot of Mary J. Blige stuff at the time, and Intro. You know what I'm saying? I actually got Intro their deal at Atlantic. I was the first artist, and then we were able to follow in after that. I had got my deal at Atlantic, and then them. But what happened was Eddie F. started talking about giving me a production deal, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And I forgot about Puff in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I left him, and I'll never forget that one night I was at a party. It was right after we signed the deal with Untouchables. Puff came running into the party and pulled me aside. I was like, yo, what are you doing? What'd you do? He was like, I had people talking about, he was actually working on my, that happened, but he was actually shopping my music. He was really a supporter of me, and he said, what you do? You signed this deal with Untouchables, and you didn't even let me know, you know what I'm saying? And I started from there. But then being with Untouchables, I got with Pete, and me and Pete went to the studio one day, and we made, the banger. Let It All Hang Out. That's my boy.
Wow.
Let It All Hang Out, baby.
All right. Look at here. Let It All Hang Out. Let's go into the video. Peep it.
I heard that track, and it was like energy, and I was just like, I just started thinking, but I don't always like to make like braggadocious songs that are just about me and stuff like that. I think about everyone in the world and how I can move them when I make a record, like how they can take something from it and apply it to them, because not everybody wants to hear about what you have all the time, what you are. It's kind of weird, when I see some of these songs and some of these artists, what they portray artistically and how much support they receive. But that's life, man. That's America. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah, you're right about that. The way hip hop is, whatever we want to call it today.
A lot of us, when we make records, and you can hear it from that golden age of artists, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Gang Starr, Organized Confusion, Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Nas. Those records that we make are complex records. They're powerful in a lot of ways, And I think that I don't see it that much. I think I'm seeing it less and less. And the only people you're seeing it from still today are us still. The Mobb Deeps and the Nas's and the Wu-Tangs, and and then on the other side you got Hood Hop, and you got and I think Rockefeller. I think I would have to say Jigga too, because I've been and that was another person that used to be with me in the studio when I did my record From the Concrete, which is one of my favorite records I've ever made. Clark Kent produced it. And Jigga used to be in the studio with me for days when we were making that record. And to see where he's gone, I'm so proud. I was proud because he still represents that street music. And that's what Ador, I'll let you know right now, Ador and True Rain Records will always represent street music.
Let our viewers know exactly what was happening, what went on after Let It All Hang Out single was popping and banging all the clubs and so forth.
Oh man, that was like it was a ride. I was like one of the top artists in New York at the time, and I all of a sudden started getting calls. I was on Yo MTV Raps with Ed and Dre. I was a guest host on that show, and then the video was on MTV, and it was all over the country, and I started selling thousands of raps. It was like top 10 Billboard rap single. Then I think what really, when I hit, I was like, man, I'm really rising.